BigJackFilms here, and welcome back to the InuYasha vlogs. And we're doing another solo episode today, but this one actually has some world building. Now, before I get started, I must apologize for the miscalculation in terms of the episodes from the last arc. It was actually episodes 24 and 25, not 25 and 26. If I had made a mistake on that, I do apologize, but regardless, we're here to talk about episode 26, The Sacred Jewel of Four Souls Revealed. I can't remember the full title of it, but it's a simple episode, and we're here to talk about basically what goes on in this one. Now, from the last episode, we saw that Sango's village was completely annihilated by Naraku. They are currently right now burying the bodies of the dead and actually paying respect, giving them graves, which is common in the next few episodes. They've actually been going to a lot of places where a lot of people get killed and they're just burying the dead out of respect. So major props to them. They're now going from demon slaying to jewel hunting to grave burying. Essentially people who dig up grave sites. That's kind of depressing. But anyway, with that being said, Sango has some information for our heroes, saying, you guys are looking for the Sacred Jewel, why don't I show you where the fuck this thing came from? And they're just like, oh, you know some stuff. It turns out the Sacred Jewel was actually created and came to an existence in Sango's village in this little cave called the Cave of Midoriko. And only certain people are allowed access into the cave because there's a sealed barrier, and only those of pure of heart, so we're going that route. Only those of the pure of heart can obtain the MacGuffin and blah blah blah. But anyway, so they go into the cave and we discover where the Sacred Jewel came from. It was actually, one of the things with the Sacred Jewel, it's not only called the Shikkon Jewel, it's also called the Jewel of Four Souls, meaning it has the four souls of different feelings and stuff. I think there's like anger, corruption, this, love, and everything, and they have different Japanese names. I can't remember the entirety of the code. There is a code. There is a Sacred Jewel code out there that is common in the InuYasha fandom. I don't know it off the top of my head. Maybe next time I'll talk about it, or whenever I can again. But basically we discovered that in a great battle thousands and thousands, centuries ago, that there were all these demons attacking the land, and there was this one priestess named Midoriko who battled these demons relentlessly for days and years on end, until finally all the calamities of the souls basically created the Sacred Jewel in her chest, and out came the Sacred Jewel that sealed this whole battle up in essentially a big bang, and thus creating this ancient element that combines all different feelings of life and so on in this world. And it's kind of interesting. So when I say that the Sacred Jewel is basically the Dragon Balls meets the One Ring of Mordor, this is kind of where I'm going from. It was created through the mentality of different powers and abilities and emotions and stuff. It's a very complicated explanation on how it works. And during that time, Miyoga is with them, because you obviously need your person of guidance, your person to make notes on history. And he's a bit more interested in the origins of the jewel, so he goes by himself to see what's going on, and discovers the only person who really has access to the cave that doesn't need the pure of heart is Kilala, the little furry cat, who actually, I forgot to mention, in the Demon Slayer arc, can actually transform into a horse-sized lion, and they can actually, and it can fly. This thing can fly, so now they have air support. Good. It can fly, and they can travel on her, and it's literally like, think Aslan from Narnia combined with Falkor from the Neverending Story. It's amazing. So, Kilala can do that. But anyway, so they go into the cave late at night while everybody's asleep, and suddenly the demons attack. The souls, the spirits of the demons attack because they know their resting place has been disturbed. Miyoga's in serious trouble, and so is Kilala. It's like, uh-oh. But then the spirit of Midoriko comes in, saves them, and disappears. And InuYasha and the group get there and find out what happens, and, you know, InuYasha's like, you wanted to know more about the jewel? And Miyoga's like, no, I didn't want to know. Cut the crap. We literally hear him say, cut the crap. I love it. And the episode ends with our fellowship obviously taking off to explore and find Naraku, maybe find some Sacred Jewel shards. And the last shot has Kilala looking back on the cave, and we discover that she is older. Kilala is actually older than we think she is. She was actually the companion of the priestess Midoriko thousands of years ago, and now has pretty much descent passed on from person to person as a sort of protector of this cave, which is why she's friends with Sango. So, yeah, this episode I actually really like. It allows a lot more expansion in terms of world building and how the Sacred Jewel came to be and how it kind of basically created sort of this world, essentially. Because remember, this isn't really feudal Japan. This is feudal Japan with a Middle-earth vibe to it. I mean, it's obviously a filler episode, kind of, but it actually does have some decent plot points that do advance and tell sort of more about why this jewel is so powerful, why it basically needs to be gathered up in terms of shards, and how it could lead to a lot more trouble. And we don't really know exactly what they will do when all the shards are completed, but my guess is they're going to try to destroy it. As if any MacGuffin. You know, if it's too evil, it must be taken into the depths of Mordor, essentially. But there's not much to do in this episode because we just had a two-parter that really had some shit go down, so now it's a good time to relax and kind of explore more world building and how things work. And in that case, it actually works pretty damn well. Miyoga really shines in this episode, played by Paul Dobson, who voices Naraku, which is kind of creepy and eerie. But also we get to see a lot more of Kilala and a lot more of Sango as characters, because we need to build them up over time. So, I really enjoyed this episode. It wasn't as good as the last two arcs, but I had fun with it. I'd put it at about a 7 out of 10. It does allow a lot of expansion of world building, and it's more of like, if you need to go into the encyclopedia of the InuYasha world, this is a good episode to kind of do some research on in terms of back history to kind of understand how things work. But I liked it. It's not going to be like compared to the next episode, which is unfortunately filler. And we're going to find out about that next time. So, of course, guys, because of the lockdown, these are going to be on YouTube, but once the lockdown is out of order, we're going to put these back on Patreon, because if you guys go subscribe to us on Patreon, $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features, and all the funds will be going towards a future InuYasha movie. A fan film. We want to really produce something at some point. We're kind of figuring out how the hell we're going to do it, but it's something we definitely want to work on down the line in the future. So, of course, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, if you create a magical MacGuffin, make sure you find a way to destroy it. Until then, I'll see you guys later.